Thank you for giving me this chance to be with you today and to share our experience regarding a hot topic in the area of drug manufacturing, which is biosimilars. It's a great pleasure to represent my university and my college today. This will be a short communication or a short talk to highlight on spots on the differences between biosimilars and their original drugs. We'll talk about many points. The first one will introduce the biopharmaceuticals and the differences between the biopharmaceuticals and the small molecules. The concept of biosimilars processing and the challenges facing this process, which is responsible for the major differences between the original drug and the biosimilar. And the critical points of the differences, finally the differences between biosimilars, biofillers, and standalone biopharmaceuticals, and the final challenges. First of all, biopharmaceutical is a definition about any virus or any therapeutic serum, toxin, antitoxin, or analogous products applicable to the prevention, treatment, or cure of a disease or injuries of the human. They are derived from biological origin. This must be a living source, such as prokaryotes, as cultured bacteria, or eukaryotes, like yeast, virus cell, or cultivated cell lines, or from the human directly, or the animal sources, to be intended for a therapeutic option as a therapeutic protein. But this is not absolutely true. Not all the biopharmaceuticals are proteins. They may be derived from carbohydrates, as one will see. If we compare the biological molecules versus small molecule drugs, you will find a very big difference in the molecular weight. As an example, aspirin just only 118 kilodaltons, while insulin 5,000 daltons, erythropoietin 30 kilodaltons, while the monoclonal antibodies, which are the big arena in the area of biopharmaceuticals and biosimilars production, are very large and heavily glycosylated with a molecular weight of approximately 150 kilodalton. So, as the molecular weight increases, the process of manufacturing and development becomes more complex. So, more standards for quality control and quality assurance and quality attributes are required to ensure the biological safety and efficacy of the biological molecules. If we see how to synthesize the aspirin, it will be very easy. It's documented in all the textbooks, and all the manufacturers agree this process. Just only 4 steps of organic synthesis to release aspirin, which is easily quantifiable, and the contaminants can be detected easily. The process is standardized between all the manufacturers, and the chemical process based on a series of controlled and predictable chemical reactions. So, approximately 100% there is no variability between the different batches and the different manufacturers for aspirin, as it's a small molecule. The biological category of the biological medications includes the monoclonal antibodies, as I said before, the biggest category in this field, the complex carbohydrates like heparins and the other anticoagulants, blood derivatives like antibodies, vaccines to be developed for immunization, the recombinant or purified proteins such as the cytokines and the fibrinolytic agents and the therapeutic enzymes. All of these products are of high molecular weight and high ordinary structure. So it will be a critical challenge to manufacture these drugs. What are the biosimilars? Biosimilars are a copy or copies of commercially available biopharmaceutical product, the original reference product, after the end of its patency. But this product to be biosimilar, it should undergo a rigorous analytical and clinical assessment in the comparison to its reference product. If not compared to a reference product, it will be a standalone medication, but not a biosimilar, and being approved by a regulatory agency according to a specific pathway or stringent pathway for biosimilar evaluation. If not verified from a regulatory agency, it will be an intended copy. copy, but not a biosimilar. Now we have three definitions: the biosimilar and the standalone medication. There is no comparison with the reference or the original product and the intended copy product, which is not approved by any regulatory agency. The biosimilar is highly similar, but not identical. So it shares the structure of the original product, but not 100% identical. So different efficacies and safety issues would be predicted. The process of manufacturing is too much complicated. As what we said before regarding aspirin, just 4 organic steps to produce aspirin. Here, to produce a biosimilar, we need approximately 5 years to produce it. First of all, you have to identify your target gene or modify it before it's carrying on the vector to produce the desired protein. Then the selection of the vector, which is a tedious process based on the size of the gene that will be inserted in the vector. Regarding this point, the size of the vector or the kilobases of the vector will be changed. Then, a more complicated process is the process of transfection, to transfer the vector with your gene inside the replicating viable cell. The process of insertion may be inefficient. The process of carrying may be inefficient. So in every step, you have to assure that your step has been successfully done. Then your cell system or your live or viable system should be transferred to the bioreactor. The conditions of the bioreactor, the time of the bioreaction and fermentation may control your product. Then you have to purify and extract your product. The processes of purifications are tedious and different according to the different impurities that will be found in your extract. Then further step of purification and the quantification of your bulk drug. All of these steps needs approximately 5 years to be verified, then clinically tested. Again, modify the selected gene, insert it inside a specific host cell, the replicating cell line, and increase the protein expression, harvest your protein, and then purify it to get the biosimilar. Where is the challenge? 2 different processes create 2 non-identical biological goods. I may take your instructions for the process of manufacturing and doing it absolutely. Then the product would be not similar to what you produced. Where are the differences? As I said before, in every step, the variabilities are present, either internally or externally, regarding the type of the cell line, the genotype of the origin of the cell line, the replicating environment, the process of gene efficiency to be carried on the plasmid, the process of transfection. Every process may affect the synthesis of a biosimilar. The know-how of this process only available at the manufacturer of the original producer. So the others are trying to do like them. Again, another definition is the biovector. You shouldn't confuse with the biovectors from biosimilars. Biosimilars, the same ingredient. But biovectors is a modified original molecule to enhance its performance, to enhance its pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics, to improve its effectiveness, such as the enhancement of the filgrastim, the granulocytes corneous deflating factor, produced by Amgen, then modified by pegylation. We didn't change the molecule itself, but modified the molecule by addition of some moieties to enhance its pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic profile. Here, it's a biovector, but not a biosimilar. Small alterations make a big difference. This is the main political issue. From the perspective of biochemistry, when we talk about a protein molecule, the process of tertiary and quaternary structure configuration dependent on the process of folding of amino acids. by the 4 bonds inside the protein, the bihydrogen bonds for hydrophobic interactions, ionic bonds for sulfide, disulfide bonds. If one amino acid is changing while we produce our biosimilar, it will be totally different product. Totally different. Another perspective, the perspective of post-translational modification of the protein, which is responsible for the stability of the protein, the solubility of the protein, the pharmacokinetic behavior of the protein. If the process of glycosylation, as an example, if not completely efficient and the desired or the destinated amino acids, the produced molecule will not be predicted to give the same action of the original or reference structure. Few changes totally may affect the group. The best example for that, the twins. They came from the same sperm and the same ovum, but everyone had its own fingerprint, despite of being from the same sperm and the same ovum. This is like the biosimilars, the same process, the same in every step, but may not identical. Already there is a variability in an inherent model to all biological medicine, by batch to batch at the original manufacturer, but it's acceptable. The process of modification is acceptable and being much far from the site of target interaction, or from the site that is responsible for the stability of the molecule, or the site responsible for the enhancement of the immunogenicity of the molecule. Now, it's acceptable. In the biosimilars development, these changes may affect totally for one amino acid. Here in the process of holding of a monoclonal antibody, if asparagine and valine is a change, valine is an unpolar aliphatic amino acid, so it can do hydrogen bonds with asparagine, which is polar. It is changing to threonine, new hydrogen bond is formed, so new tertiary or quaternary structure will be formed. So the function of the protein will be totally changed. So the process is totally. It's a summary for the typical methods that are used to assess the quality of the biosimilars. Multiple techniques and very sophisticated methods to ensure that your molecule may be a biosimilar or not. So this process is a big business area. It needs a long time and insistence to produce your molecule. Why we need biosimilars? Biosimilars, in simple manner, are more economic than the original drug, but they are not interchangeable. They cannot replace each other. It's based upon the opinion of the clinician. And the patient should be on an informed consent. It will be treated by a biosimilar. The clinical pharmacists have a big role in this process to acknowledge their patients and their clinicians with their available biosimilars. We have an upcoming opportunities. Different drugs, their patency, different biologicals, their patency will be ended by the end of this year, and we need their biosimilars if we can. If you know, Humira is the top sold medicine in the previous 5 years, consecutive 5 years at the top of the list. Adalimumab as an inhibitor of the human glucose factor alpha to manage different autoimmune diseases. So we have a big opportunity to replace these medications with biosimilars if we want to do this after the referral for the regulations or the national regulations of the biosimilars. Thank you very much, and I'm ready for your questions. Anyone have a question?
What do you mean by interchangeability?
Yes.
Because in Europe it means completely the opposite to America.
Yes.
How do you define it for each?
Okay. He asked about the difference between EMA, European Medicine Agency, and the FDA regulations for the approval of biosimilars and their interchangeability, which is until now is a big question because there is no definitive criteria to say this medicine is interchangeable with this original. So this process is totally dependent on the opinion of the clinician. No one can do this other than the clinician, from my opinion.
May I add something? Interchangeability, you can modify it in film switch into form of switching. Tell me the specialty you want to know about this concept, and I will tell you the debates about this specialty globally. Let's think about oncology. Okay, we have two different entities and bodies. They are the references of clinical guidelines globally. For the oncology, we have NCCN guidelines and also there is ESMO guidelines. ESMO guidelines, till to date, this date, they have a debate about switching, and the board of ESMO had a meeting last month about this issue, and they have a conclusion that if there is no clinical evidence from the clinical trial, even for the extrapolation for the clinical trial, tell you switch, not switch. In the NCCN guidelines, they give you the flexibility for switching based on the clinicians or the oncologist decisions. It's a debatable thing. It needs a lot of discussion. In the oncology, the oncologists are feeling from two issues. One of them is disease progression, and two are they're feeling from relapse.
I'd like to add something for.
Should I just try and help? So I'm Paul Corns from Britain, and there's been a lot of debate. Interchangeability in Europe means a decision made jointly by the pharmacist and the physician. So, for example, we might choose to tender for a trastuzumab version every year, and in 1 year we might have one brand, and another year we might have a second brand. So the decision is, do you have stock two brands and only give biosimilars to new patients? Now we understand the science where switching between brands would be a problem. And the only science that would explain a problem would be a difference in immunogenicity, which is why immunogenicity is a critical attribute of a drug, and you will never license biosimilars as more immunogenic than the original. So in theory, it should never be a problem. In practice, in 10 years in Europe, we have never seen a biosimilar that is more immunogenetic, which explains why in practice, in health systems like mine, where we buy drugs on annual tenders, a problem has never been seen. And there are now 94 clinical trials of switching biosimilars, which do not show a problem. So the answer is, if you are European and you are switching as part of your annual tenders, there is no problem, and that has been endorsed by a panel of Europe's regulators in a very important paper produced by Pepper. Now, there are some health systems that want to drive down prices by using retail pharmacies on the street. Patients go and buy their drugs. And in that situation, there is a potential that a patient could get a better price next month by changing brands. And so some countries have licensed this, and some have required special trials. So for example, in Australia, you can buy Telosat, a subcutaneous anti-inflammatory biologic for rheumatoid disease, which of course can be given in clinics. You don't need infusion chairs as a hospital. So for that to be safe, you have to check that it's a low immunogenicity drug. Secondly, you may want to clinical trials. There's a trial called Legality, where they switch patients backwards and forwards between versions of the drug, which shows it's safe. So this emphasizes that you may make a decision about an automatic substitution. It will probably be made on a case-by-case basis. And essentially, I'll tell you, the best way to buy drugs at the lowest price is to buy in bulk for the whole year for your hospital, and then you'll get a better price. So there's probably no reason to want to switch outside your normal drug tender cycle, and that is definitely safe. And the paper has come out, which we can start later.
Thank you very much.
So the agreement is we have to, the pharmacist and the doctor have to work together. That's the key.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the discussion. Your validation. Anyone have a question?
Thank you, Professor Ahmed, for nice talk and
We need a question.
sorry.
Would you please give me a brief explanation of to what extent the difference in quality attributes will affect the biosimilarity? I need to know a brief explanation.
Thank you. She asked about the quality attributes and their effects upon the activity and the efficiency of the biomarkers, of the biosimilars. The quality attributes means to assure every step in the process of manufacturing and verification that was done efficiently. As an example, if we want to load a gene on a plasmid, we have to assure that 100% my gene is inserted, and to assure this by the biochemical techniques. The second step, to transfect this plasmid inside the cell, is to be assured by the, as an example, with resistant gene, okay, and transfer it into the bioreactor. Okay, we adjusted the media and the environment to the process of bioproduction. We have to ensure that this step was 100% as what in your quality papers. To the end of the process, my product is here now in my hand. I have to assure its structure and extraordinary or higher order structure is 100% similar to, as much as possible, not 100%, but as much as possible similar to the original drug. As I said, one amino acid changes may affect totally the activity and the immunogenic behavior of the biosimilar. Biomedical trials, yes. The process of development of biosimilars starts from the end of the experience of the manufacturer. Again, the process of developing a biosimilar starts from the end of the experience of the original manufacturer. So the biggest part is the analytical part, to ensure your product, and the last part is the clinical trials. In head-to-head trial against the reference drug. So you will compare your results with the original one. And every item will be compared to the statistical significance. I hope to be helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ahmed, for nice talk. And now